After a really long wait, after a big break, and after countless of weeks without DTM, we are finally back. Welcome everyone. I am glad to be back as a main commentator and also glad to be back as the main commentator of the DTM. Lots of changes happened to this season. So after a really exciting 2015 season, after we just encountered the most exciting race in 2015 at Spa, which happened to be the most exciting DTM race ever. After these really good months, really good season, 2016 is here. I'm looking forward so much to see this season, to see these cars, to see the new drivers. Some drivers who just promoted to this season, some drivers who just came back from Formula One. Also, the drivers who retired but eventually came back. What about them? I will talk more later. Let's just see now the weather, which is gonna be clear. These are perfect for today's test, and they're usually perfect for every kind of racing. If it's not wet, it's dry. That's so obvious that everyone knows. So that wasn't a huge fact that I could tell. Also, I am looking forward as well to comment it because I sorry about that. I missed lots of time to commentate, even though I commentated the Classico C, maybe at Mexico. It's not the same. Like I tried to take that DTM championship more serious than those one-time commentaries at the Classico C, or for example, one of these substitute seasons. Also, sorry about that, but I prefer to commentate alone. So this is why I'm not so popular and not so loved because of that sentence of mine. But um, actually, as Robert or Zorbak is letting you guys to commentate with them, I don't really want. I would like to commentate alone. So apologize. So 1 hour, like as in GP2, the drivers have 1 hour to test out the new aerodynamic parts, the new upgrades, the 2016 cars, and 1 hour for today for the new drivers as well to get used to the new car. I will talk about the people as they are coming out to the track, so I will talk about them as they are going out. I will share some amazing facts. Thanks for that for Flo because he helped me to get along these facts. And Vedran Vedrina is the first driver. You all might know him because his first time here at DTM. He came back from Formula One. Unfortunately, he missed out on the seats after the 2015 season, and he's now back as one of the OC. I mean, the top tier OC drivers. Some fun facts about him: he has 3 podiums in Formula One, and also this is not his very first time because he's a 2010 DTM driver. So I was a bit wrong about that. So apologize. From Force India, he basically came to Mercedes AMG and just switched Benza Waldinger, who got promoted to the top tier to GP2. I mean, top tier to second tier to GP2. Yes, I really have to get used to that commentary again. It just such a big time I missed out. So Vedrina might show us and prove all the people who think it's a good idea for him to be here and not in Formula One. He might prove to them that he is better than that and he might go back to Formula One. But with his appearance here and with his driving here, this DTM season might be the strongest as for the current driver field. Not to mention we have Roland Motyán, Felix Zontag, Mateusz Tervik, Viggo Holst, just to say some names from Formula One, and not to mention about Adam Wolff or Jack Boyman either. These are the drivers who got highly appreciated in Formula One. Just got back here for a little time, or for a longer time. We will see about that. And now the driver is gonna start their laps. Here we can see all the different drivers, but I could talk hours about one driver, so I just have to make it short, make it clear who is who, why they are here, and what their goals might be in this series. So when we start in the first lap, this is the normal layout of Lausitzring. Who didn't know Lausitzring, I will show them the track later. So far we can see the times are raining in, and so far Karanti is leading the field. Finally I remembered his name, finally I didn't forget the name how to pronounce, because I always said Karinti before, now I say Karanti. Here comes Chuck McCarthy taking the pole for a temporary time, which is not a pole, just a first place. This is only a preseason test. So Chuck McCarthy is someone who should prove he belongs here to DTM. After a disappointing 2015 season where he got lost, he really should prove that he has a place here, because I don't know if he could stay here if he's getting lost in the championship once again. As I said, I will talk about different drivers, but not so far, because the cameras keep switching between them, and this is not a one lap quali mode. Here the drivers are going more and more continuous laps, maybe 4, 5 or 6 laps, maybe more. Then they're coming back to the pits, change the tires, change the settings, just trying to set up the car to this track. Even though this track will be or might not be in the calendar, it's no matter. As for the GP2 drivers, when they were testing the car, they have to set it up. They must see it, how the car reacts for the different kind of settings. Here comes David Kupok, who stood in DTM, but switched with Sami Perez, because Sami Perez got promoted to GP2 to the team Arden, and this is why David Kupok from Team Phoenix switched to Abt Audi. There are 4 Abt Audis and 2 Abt Audi Sports. Don't ask the main difference. Like I don't really know. Just maybe the name is different, maybe the whole team is different. But for sure, David Kupok can be memorable, can be remembered from the last season where he won at the old Hockenheim GP. Like the GP is not that old, but the track layout where they were going is the old version. He can call himself a DTM race winner, which is also not a bad title, even though he's not an F1 champion or something, or a DTM champion. Winning a race at any tiers is already something which everyone wants. But because of one win, someone won't be successful. And yes, I will talk about the others too. And here comes Julius Anderson. Julius Anderson, who actually got a podium back in 2014 with a Caterham. Maybe the biggest miracle podiums in Formula One, and probably will stay like that. With that Caterham, it was nearly impossible to get such a good place, such a good position. Yes, it was luck as well, so Anderson couldn't achieve that place if the other drivers are not retiring in front of him, but that doesn't make that amazing result any less. In the statistics, he got a podium, a third place with a Caterham, and also won 3 times in the 2012 season in DTM. Actually, that season made him get into Formula 1, but unfortunately, with the car, he had to compete. He just couldn't hold his place. And after a little break, he's back to DTM at 2016. If I remember correctly, he wasn't driving in 2015, but all of these things were so long ago. I can't remember everything. As we are coming to Mateusz Tervik, who is also coming from the top tier. He was driving the Manor. But after he lost against his teammate and no team wanted him, he came to DTM for the first time. he can show us that it was unfair that the top, that not the top team, that the top tier got rid of him. But you know, Formula One is working like that. If you're not getting top car, if you're not getting a good car, then you might find yourself out from the series pretty fast. Adam Wolf, who stood in DTM for another year, he's an ex-Formula One driver. He he stood with DTM. He stood at the Schnitzer BMW. It's pretty interesting fact about him. He's a driver ever since 26. So as I see, he is racing for the oldest time, along with George Roque, and of course with some drivers from the top tier. But we are talking about DTM. Not to mention he has a win from Nürburgring, where he had the masterclass strategy with the two-stop with the new tires. He was unstoppable. He jumped over everyone, and in that way, from P3 to P1, just won this race. Maybe that was the race where I was screaming once again because of Tomaselli was doing those overtakes, those triple overtakes. He got pretty famous of, but at the rest of the season, after he did that 3-car overtake twice, he just couldn't show us anything else. Unfortunately, he had a bad luck. Thomas Bennett also staying in DTM. He didn't have a particularly good season, but yes, he can show us he's better than that. Thomas Bennett stood at the same team, aka at the Phoenix Audi. Aside a win at Paul Ricard back at 2015, didn't have such good results. I wonder how the 2016 car's gonna be for him. If he can ride them well, if he's gonna be faster than before. Also, Zachary Fitzwater, who also an ex-Formula One driver, he didn't spend too much time there at the top tier. He also stood at the RMG BMW, and back at 2012 and 2013, he was a Formula One driver for Caterham. Also has some podiums from last year. I'm in DTM now. This is why I'm saying this championship gonna be strong. The driver lineups, the drivers who are mostly ex-Formula One drivers, also some who just got promoted from Formula E. Maybe this will make it interesting, and I'm not so sure if somebody is winning the championship this year, not getting promoted to GP2 or back at Formula One instantly. Looking at the strength of the field, this is easily possible. So I don't think it's impossible to get back to Formula One from here. Fitzwater is doing a long run. This is why his times are not so shiny and not so cool. Also, I know that I should be better at commentating. I just try to get used to that kind of speaking once again. It's a bit difficult to speak in another language. It's not your first language. But ever since Spa and the last rounds of the DTM, which were, I think I started to be better, I just forget this whole stuff and I have to learn it from the very beginning. So we can see Viggo Hoss now, who is, without any notes, without anything I can tell, he is the 2012 top tier champion, who retired from Formula One at 2013 after a terrible start of the 2013 season. I don't know the reason why. I have some thoughts, but I don't really want to share now. But all in all, he left the series. Then he came back to DTM. There are lots of drivers who just came back here trying to prove something. Horse was retired, but actually got called back, got the seat at Audi Phoenix. So he changed QPOC, who, as I said, went to the Abt Audi. And in 2014, he was a DTM driver before he fell out from the series. Here we can see Rivki Fakhrezain. I bet you guys also know his name because Fakhrezain is a GP2 champion and a second place driver back at 2014 at top tier at Monaco. The 2014 Monaco GP was really chaotic. This is the same GP where Julius Anderson got P3 with the Caterham. And if I remember correctly, Fitzwater Fakhrezain, sorry about that, got defeated to Rosso maybe? I'm not even sure anymore, but now, likewise Horst, he's called back to DTM and going to the RMG BMW. So far, maybe I mentioned 4 ex-Formula 1 drivers, or 5, I'm not even sure. And here comes the next, William Duncan. And about William Duncan, not everyone has the cleanest and best memories, mainly because he caused the huge demolition derby maybe back at 2013, ruined many races, and I don't think he was judged in a right way. He made mistakes. He also ruined some people's races, but I don't think he was that bad as some of the people were telling. And William Duncan, who was in GP2 as well, if I remember correctly, but I will watch my notes if my mind is correctly. Yes, he was a Toro Rosso in 2013. Then he had to retire back to Formula E after the 4th year, and now from Formula E, he found himself at the third Apta Audi car. So the drivers from Formula E, Thomas Anderson, William Duncan, Luca Farina, and Julius Anderson, these drivers will experience that promotion in a good races. Formula E is a 4th tier, while DTM is a 3rd tier. So when you jump a tier, that also tells you that you are successful. You have a place in the upper tiers. Then in Adventure, he was racing in last season as well. In Monza, he was driving really well and won the race by an absolute mile. Nearly got taken out, and this was an honorable mention, and I will say that because he nearly got taken out by Joe Hutter, who found himself in GP2. It was weird because I didn't really waited from Hutter to go to GP2, so it was a surprising step from him. I will search him, just give me a minute. Then Adventure just stood at Mercedes AMG. Just won 2 Italian GPs, one in GP2 at 2014 and one at last year, 2015. And here we can see George Roque, who, for him, it's a pretty unfortunate to be here because Roque didn't imagine his career like that. Just promoted from DTM to Formula 1 at 2014. He went to Lotus, but the car itself was pretty trash. Sorry to say that, but it was unreliable. It was slow. It was turning slowly. The acceleration wasn't really good. At least it has a Mercedes engine, so at the straights, it could have a better acceleration than the Renault power units. But Rook also retired lots of times, mainly because of the reliability. Sometimes he got taken out. Sometimes it was his mistake. And since Lotus just got bought out by Renault, and Renault thought Tira Vinotran is a better choice for them. Rogue got back to DTM, so from DTM to Formula 1, from Formula 1 back to DTM, so it wasn't really working out. He's also a driver from the 26th year, so basically he's here ever since the OC started. He has 4 FN, he has 4 F1 wins. He got podiums only at both Hockenheim's last year, and yeah, that's all. We will see what his fate will be, and we will see if he can go back to Formula 1. He needs a good season. but he will go back to a lower team, to a low tier team where he might suffer again. I don't think any top tier team will just sign him, even if he's winning the championship. We will see. I just don't want to go into the details so much. I just say my opinion here. And there goes Felix Zontag, who also didn't have particularly good season last year. We more saw him at the back of the field. Even though he is having a win from Canada, this is his only win. I will search him. Just a minute. He's still at the same team. And some interesting facts. He has driven for Williams, for Ferrari, for McLaren, and for Mercedes. If you remember back, he was driving to Ferrari ever since 26 to 28. Then he got to McLaren. Let's see how much. Maybe 2010, I think. Yes. Then he went to Mercedes from 2010 to 2012. And I don't even remember the Williams. Oh no, he started at Williams. I remember that. So he started at Williams, then he got promoted to Ferrari 27 and 28. So I missed that step. I missed the Williams. Yes, I know. I already corrected it. Well, yes, you are right, but I didn't know that. I'm not following the series from that long. I followed the whole OC series from 27. This is the time I joined with Toro Rosso. So I don't really know the 2016 season. And I don't even know who I didn't talk about. Oh, Jack Boyman. Jack Boyman still didn't have a good season last year, even though he showed some pretty good overtakes and defending back at France, back at Spa. His racing wasn't really impressive for me, at least. I don't know what about you guys, but it didn't really impress me too much. He went to Team RBM to BMW, switching places with Lorenzo Tomaselli, who went to Abt. And Boyman can say about himself, he won the 26 Brazilian GP back at the top tier, and one of the main people who started to build up this whole community. My throat is getting a bit sore. This is why I'm coughing so much, so if you excuse me, then I'm gonna drink a little. Yes, I'm here. I forgot how much it takes out from my voice that I commentate and talking continuously. And fortunately and finally, I remembered the name of Karanti. I'm so impressed of myself, and you guys can all so impressed of me, because all in the past I said Karinti because it sounds better for me, but now I say Karanti. So everything is amazing. He can prove the MTech BMW for the whole team that he might be the next champion and he might be the next GP2 driver. I just imagine Karanti, and this is a Karinti again, it's how funny. I imagine Karanti at GP2 just now. I'm not saying it's impossible, but he have to work a lot for that. It's not so easy to get in, mainly if you were never there before. Hello, I'm raising my hand because I was never in GP2 before. Nor DTM, nor Formula E, but that's never mind. That's an old story, what I could talk about a lot. And hey Snaz, welcome in the chat. Oh, Paraki. Okay, about Paraki, I didn't say anything yet. Let's just do now. So, any Paraki who was racing at 2015 as well, and raced at 2016, because I can speak so well, he's being at Mercedes EMG, like last year. And one of his honorable mention is he's having a pole last year in Austin. This is his achievement for up to date. I mean, if you want to stay in DTM, then you are not applying any contracts for the further teams to GP2, so you will stay here. Just be careful not to lose your seat. It can happen if someone wants to stay in DTM and they are having one or two bad seasons, then they might get replaced by the Formula E promises or the Formula E talents, so they have to be careful with that. That's my advice. And anyone can follow it or not follow it, we will see. Oh, here we go with Motyam. We could call him the black sheep of the OC. Not because of any curses or to anything bad. He's just having so much bad luck that he couldn't really show what he can. MTech BMW likewise last year. It's also interesting that he has 4 F1 podiums, last year 2 DTM wins, and he's an OC driver ever since the 27th season, just like I am. So yes, Botian is the guy who I think still have the way to get back to Formula One. It will be really hard. I think he retired at 2013, and ever since 2013, he's in DTM. He can't go back to F1 or GP2. I think he would have a place for a GP2 car. We will see. And here goes Lorenzo Tomaselli. And if I remember correctly, Lorenzo Tomaselli was our overtaking master back in 2015. So I was making a meme about him. And then Sermon retired from Apt, and Tomaselli just switched him. About Tomaselli, he is an ex-GP2 driver, and he also won the 2013 GP2 American GP. And yes, makes great overtakes sometimes when he's not retiring or just spins around or get hit by the back. He's doing awesome overtakes, but ever since I hyped him up and called him an overtaking master, then he got struck by bad luck. Maybe I jinxed him in that way. So in advance, sorry about that. I didn't mean to. It just happened. It's not my fault, okay? It's not my fault. I say that, and you guys can think whatever they want. I will remember because this is Sermon's last year car. Because Sermon's car was orange and is still orange just with Tomaselli. So maybe I can say sometimes, hey, it's Sermon, but no, it's Tomaselli. I will confuse him several times. I won't. Well, Caranti. I nearly said Caranti again. I can't believe it. So Caranti is coming up to 4th place and Boyman is to 9th place. The gaps, the differences won't be too big like was last year. These DTM cars are really similar as for performances. Even the new teams and mainly the old teams, because there are new teams. The old teams might try out some new aero packages and also some upgrades for the different tracks. These upgrades and these improvements might make some teams fly to the first position, but it depends on the driver as well. So if some driver is talented, some driver has the skill for it, it's possible. And there goes Luca Farina, a driver I wanted to talk about ever since the beginning of the stream, but I couldn't because I didn't have the chance. So Luca Farina is an ex-GP2 driver as well, and not to mention he was at DTM at 2011 and 2013. He basically tried out all the TR6 Expect Formula 1. So he is switching Victor Ibobo to Upsport. Ibobo went to the Mercedes AMG. That means he's still in the field and still driving a DTM car this season. So yes, I think I told everything about Farina, that he won the 2013 GP2 Brazilian GP. Not to mention he got promoted from Formula E where he had to go to just prove the bigger teams that he has the talent and the determination to be a full-time driver here. Seems like that was paying out because he got a seat at DTM once again. From now on, he must concentrate on getting good results, because if someone is not paid, so if someone was in GP2 before but got fired, that means they can't go back to GP2, they can go to Formula 1 right after DTM. So these tiers are a bit different and it has different rules for them. It's not so easy to look forward and not look through it, mainly because usually people says from second tier to first tier we go, but it is possible to go from third tier to first. I don't think it's possible to fourth to first. It's such a big jump now. And I welcome every 19 viewers, now 18, but I am so happy when I can see so many people watching the DTN streams. Like, I believe and I will believe that maybe they are watching the stream because of my beautiful commentary, then I realize they are not. They are just watching it because it's exciting, and also there are lots of ex-Formula 1 drivers, ex-GP2 drivers here making the whole field so strong and so competitive like we didn't see for a long while. Yes, I don't know what you mean, Joe, so if you'd be so kind to explain it to me, that would be a little help, because right now I just lost the tip of the sentence, a tip of the topic, what I was just talking about. Yeah, I'm still coughing into the stream. Really, I think my microphone is more sensitive than ever before. So if you guys can hear different and weird voices, then don't be so surprised. It's because I'm usually just coughing a little, making my voice a bit better. We can see Fakhruzin again, then Mutyan. Mutyan is second, Zontag is first. The two drivers who couldn't set good results so much in 2015 are now leading the session at 1 and 2. Here goes Victor Ibobo. Well, okay, so Ibobo is one of the drivers who have a huge past in the whole OC. So what can we know about Ibobo? First of all, Rance has retired from the series. I don't know the reason. Maybe he doesn't get any seats, but Ibobo got his seat at Mercedes EMG. And from now on, Ibobo was a driver for Toro Rosso back at 29. At 29, they really, how should I say that? So the OC members were criticizing him quite much because of his driving style, because of the collisions he caused. And at the end of 29, maybe he dropped out immediately from Formula 1, if I remember correctly. Also, he's having 4 wins from the 2011 DTM season. So we can see he's not a bad driver, he just had tons of bad luck, and maybe he's a pretty, okay, pretty, no, a bit, I won't say pretty because I would be rude. He was a bit immature back at 29. At 2011, he got a little more mature, these 4 visits proving them. And in this season, he got second in the championship, only 1 point behind the champion, the Bosch Levente, who we didn't see ever since that time. So he's one of the Hungarians who just suddenly disappeared. Likewise, Juhas from GP2. It's like, oh, I'm looking back while Mojta is making a mistake, just running wild. Oh, he nearly got hit by Ibobo. Ibobo, the guy I was just talking about. But yes, it didn't happen to be a collision. I was just, checking the sheets and I missed as Mojta run wide, but I assume it was just a classic lockup and running wild. Yes. Okay, guys, you can still ask anything from me. after that list, I don't know if I was talking about everyone. Probably not. Let's see. I think I talked about everyone. Oh, I didn't talk about Thomas Anderson, maybe. Maybe he's the last one I didn't talk about. This is Julius Anderson. But if we find Thomas Anderson, then here we go. So he went to RBM, no? That's Jack Boyman who went to RBM. Anderson got promoted from Formula E to Team Audi Abt. And he is the brother of Julius Anderson, so the two brothers just racing in one league. And if I remember correctly, Thomas Anderson didn't attend in any bigger series than Formula E before. Maybe he spent 1 or 2 seasons with Formula E, then he got promoted here to DTM. And I got a question. I don't know. I mean, oh wait, it's a different one. It's a pretty difficult question to say. Oh right, James is in Formula E. Didn't see him for a while either. So, how should I say that? So, in one hand, I am surprised because all of the star drivers are just got reunited here in DTM, causing a huge potential for the younger drivers. So if a younger driver can beat them also, Nor, Horst, Rogue, Zontag, Boyman, Fitzwater, Fakrezin, Julius Anderson, Turvik are very not gonna be the champion, but someone else, like some of the new drivers or some of the DTM drivers who just couldn't prove so far. I think they might have a chance to get a Formula 1 seat if they were in GP2 or if they weren't in GP2, they will have the chance to go to GP2. In this season, there is a huge chance and a huge possibility, and not a possibility, a huge chance in front of David Kupok, Thomas Anderson, William Duncan, Lorenzo Tomaselli, Luca Farina, Thomas Bennett, Daniel Adventure, even Victor Bobo, Andy Perakhi, Jorge Caranti, also I think in front of Mutyan as well, in front of Wolf, McCarthy. They all could get to GP2, even Boyman. They can all get to GP2 next season or straight into Formula 1 to the main tier. This is the year where they have to prove they are worthy, that they are talented, that they can drive these cars as an absolute monster, that they are above all these F1 drivers, ex-Formula 1 drivers. It's not that easy because even if they beat them, but these top names, those stars, I wanted to say star powers, but that wouldn't be accurate. So they can easily get back to Formula 1 once they are showing off a second, a third place, maybe a championship win, they can. So this is gonna be a difficult season. This is gonna be an interesting season, maybe, or might be the most exciting DTM season ever, with the strongest field at the moment. Yes, it's nearly impossible to judge who's gonna be the champion. Let's just think about last year where Soga won the championship. We thought Ibobo gonna easily do it, but no, he just battled the last 2-3 races. And not Ibobo, sorry, it was Mocho. I just, never mind. It was Mocho who really battled both of the races. even 3 races remaining. He lost the championship, yet he got promoted to Formula One. This was an interesting decision, but looking at his performance, looking at his stuff, what he did before he battled all the championship, he might deserve it. But Saga definitely deserved that seat to GP2 because he just did one of the biggest comebacks in DTM, like ever. So they both got something, they both deserve it. That's another question, how it should have gone. Yes, people are talking about interesting things in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. Most of the OC members here are knowing the answer. And some of them, or I should say most of them, are way smarter than me. I'm sorry if I make this preseason testing a little boring, but this is preseason testing. This is not like a championship race. This is not a qualifying either, so I know there are more fun people than me who are not just talking like that and have some, different kind of entertaining side, entertaining skills. I'm not like that. Even though in the last seasons I was making some puns, some stuffs you remembered. For example, he's like my Grafia Ragazzi pun, but you guys really loved, or at least liked, and not to mention you guys also used it, which surprised me, but whatever. You guys can always surprise me with your sense of humor, with your roasts, with your unique words. You might just figure out by yourself. Really, I'm sometimes so impressed. About Lausitzring, it's a classic DTM track, and since we have so much time left, still we have like 20 minutes left. Oh, I thought we don't have that much time left. But hey, life is always surprising us, right? And I would like to check the 2016 season. And hey guys, I wanna talk about the calendar. So, the whole field is starting with the new version of Hockenheimring because there are two Hockenheimrings, the new and the old version. So we are starting at Hockenheim with the new version. Then the next stage gonna be Brno and the Czech Republic. Brno is a place and a racetrack I never really commentated, not with DTM at least. The third stage gonna be at Istanbul. Istanbul can be remembered because maybe last year or 2 years before, Robert Ionescu and his sister were attending as guest drivers. Since that guest driver thing caused so much uncomfortableness, I wanted to say problems, but it wasn't a problem, obviously. I don't think it will be repeated, but for one time, it worked. So after that, we are coming with Catalonia, what aka Barcelona, what I don't really like, but that's my only opinion. Then we are coming with Algarve, I mispronounced it, where Waldinger won last season. It was a good race. Then we are coming with Silverstone, basically the mother or father, let's say father of all the racetracks. Then we are coming with Paul Ricard, then Red Bull Ring, then Nürburgring, Canada, COTA, aka the United States of, not the Circuit of the America. Never mind, I nearly said something else. And the United States. Then with the old version of the Hockenheimring, there comes Spa-Francorchamps at Belgium. Then as for the season finale, we come with Monza again. I remember I joined in at Austria. So last year, Akatani 15 Austria was the first time I ever did that live commentary, and this is the first time in the GP4 OC history that I made that. Good old memories, but if I remember correctly, the Austria and Paul Ricard were switched, because I remember commentating Austria and Paul Ricard as well. And yes, it's good old times. I pretty enjoyed it, even if I have to get used to it to commentate again. And seems like tomorrow I will commentate as well another DTM test day, because as you guys can see and hear and everything, there will be the second test day tomorrow as well. Only 2 test days gonna be held, so it's not like Formula One where we had 4 test days. That 4 test day period is only at Formula One. I only I think it's only needed at Formula One to get so many test days. And yes, I appreciate it how respectful you guys are to each other. It's a really adoring and honorable thing to do. And this is why I'm so proud of this community, because you guys are so kind, so respectful to each other. Even though sometimes this is not always true, sometimes it might happen in the other way, and sometimes there can be arguments. But what community is, which is not containing any arguments. People have different opinions all the time. They are crashing that opinions, then this is causing controversial situations. Sometimes they happen, sometimes not. So 16 minutes before the end of the first test day, David Stupok is leading the whole field. In front of Felix Zontag, then Ron Moitian third. William Duncan coming at P4, surprise so far. Then Ricky Fakrezane, also a surprise for me, at P5. Vigo Holst P6. Jorge Carinti P7. And Thomas Anderson, who we can see on the screen, is P8. So the newbies are doing pretty well this first day, except Holst because he was racing last year too. Before last year. Where were we? Oh, okay. So Vendran Veldrina is P9, Daniel Adventure P10, Boyman 11. Um, I can see. Just 22nd place. I nearly said Rancias to P12 because yes, he had the short name of Young. But the sad thing is, I have to find again because I don't know who's at P12. Whoops. Oh, what happened? Um, Wait, is the end of the season already? I mean, not season, but the pre-season testing. Oh, okay. Then I just wanted to talk a little more about the drivers. Okay, so no. Sorry about that. Just I got used to it. Both at Formula One and both in GP2, the whole hour just passed by, and we didn't do that. But I know that as well. So David Kipok won the first test day. Felix Zonta comes the second, Roland Motian third, William Duncan fourth, Rivki Fakros in fifth. Vigo was sixth, Jorge Carinti seventh, Thomas Anderson eighth, Vedran Vedrina ninth, Daniel Adventure 10, Jack Boyman 11, and that was Julius Anderson in P12. Now I know. Adam was P13, Renzo Tomaselli 14, Jack McCarthy 15, Mateusz Tervik 16, Thomas Bennett 17, Josh Rock 18, Annie Paraki 19, Luca Farina 20th. Then Zachary Fitzwood and Victory Boys closing the line at 21st and 22nd. There are some surprises and there are some negative surprises as well for me in today's session, but I wouldn't like to tell these so far. I would like to leave a little to tomorrow, and I really hope, guys, you enjoyed my commentary, even if it wasn't so clear. I tried to be as entertaining as I could. I tried to be as clear as I could, talk continuously, and just be me, you know. So We see each other tomorrow at the same time as today with the second day of the preseason testing. But tomorrow the driver is gonna complete their laps at Barcelona, just like where the Formula One drivers did back then when the preseason testing was on. So thanks for the watching. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I was Miklos Gal. See you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.